purple and gold? Are you ready to hoist the colors? Now, time for the most in-depth look at the world of ECU athletics. Welcome in to Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game. Watch the show live on Facebook and at 943thegame.com. Now, here's your host, Stephen Igo.
All right, welcome in, Hoist the Colors on this Tuesday, April 16th edition of the program. We got a lot coming your way on the Team Boneyard front as we will introduce another board member on the show here shortly. I do want to hit a few things as we take the air. As always, we're live on YouTube, Facebook, X as well. Be sure to follow 94.3 The Game on X. Subscribe on YouTube. Like our Facebook page to get our live streams every weekday, 12 noon. 94.3 The Game. We're live. Also, the Patrick Johnson Show is streamed every day at 5 p.m. as well. And then, of course, your Pirate baseball coverage with Scott Rogers. Baseball game tonight, 6 o'clock at William & Mary. We'll have coverage starting at 5:45. We're also running a special on Hoist the Colors for the next 48 hours. So for new subscribers, we're calling it Transfer Portal Palooza. Across the 24/7 Sports Network, you can get 60% off Hoist the Colors membership. And it just so happens that on our membership page, we've got an endorsement from our in-studio guest. How about that? David Price, who is involved and has been a member since 2013, it says, on Hoist the Colors. So first off, David, as we introduce you, thank you for your support over the years, man.
My pleasure, bud. I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely. So David Price, if you go to ECU Sporting Events, you've probably heard the David Price construction read or ads. You are a big supporter of East Carolina athletics. We'll get into your business, but you're here on behalf of Team Boneyard today. You are a board member, and I think now with your appearance today, outside of Lance Clark, who I can't convince to come in studio yet, we've had 5 of the 6 board members, if I'm counting correctly. So I guess big shoes to fill. You got to talk as much as Hank Hinton. Do you think you can do that?
I feel like I can fill up the hour, bud. That's not a problem.
When do you think we can get Lance Clark in here?
I'll work on him a little bit for you. I'll do my best anyway.
Okay, we'll see what we can do. So, all right, David Price, let's we're going to recap the spring auction and do all of that because that was an awesome initiative by you guys at Team Boneyard. But let's first go into your background, man. Let's hear the David Price story, if you will, and how you all the way up to how you got involved with Team Boneyard.
Okay. So I was a graduate of the construction management program from East Carolina. I went to work for a big builder, McDonald York, shortly thereafter, after working for another builder before that. And then the recession came. So our industry took a pretty big hit with the recession, obviously. I lost my job. Builder of the year for the company in 2008, let go 6 months later in 2009, and that's just the way the industry was going. So I decided to use my last few $100s to get an LLC. We started by replacing windows, rod around a house, whatever people would give me a job to do. And 15 years later, I'm sitting here in your studio as a member of Team Boneyard. We do high-end residential remodels in the Raleigh market, mostly like $250,000 and up. We do commercial work throughout the state for corporate partners. And we also do like maintenance on those facilities for those same corporate partners. So some of our corporate partners are Carrier Enterprise, Delta Airlines, stuff like that. So that's kind of how we got here.
So obviously kind of self-made business, David Price Construction, clearly, you started it and built it up. And yeah, as somebody who started a fellow LLC when I was broke, it wasn't easy to part with those few $100. And you still got to pay the LLC fee every year, so that's always fun. But I'm sure there were some challenging times, David, during your early days. So got to be pretty cool to reach this point and kind of knowing that you guys took a risk, but it's just worked out.
Yeah, there was definitely a couple times that I wasn't sure if David Price Construction would be David Price Construction much longer, but we were able to weather those tides and. We're fortunate to be here, and we're excited to be here, and we don't take any day for granted.
All right, so how much has given back to East Carolina, whether it be through the Pirate Club or, advertising at games, how much has that meant to you over your time giving back to ECU?
I think my education from ECU in construction management is the only reason I'm here, right? So I give back to ECU athletics because I enjoy it. We also have a scholarship that we're working on through the construction management program. So we're giving back in a lot of different ways, and it is very important to me to give back to ECU. And now through Team Boneyard, I give financially, but I also am able to spend some of my time away from business working to try to better ECU athletes' lives and also better ECU athletics as a whole. So that's important to me, and it's great that I have the opportunity to do that.
So David Price, David Faree, Doug Gomes, Hank Hitton, Lance Clark, and Matt Slade. I had to pull up y'all's email to make sure I didn't leave anybody out. All right, so how'd you get involved with Team Boneyard?
So my involvement through ECU athletics and some of the things that we do from a giving standpoint there connected me with Hank Hinton. And, you know, some of the things that we do from a radio standpoint, he's had to do some of our announcements and other things like that. So he connected with me. We've gotten to become friends, and he thought that I could bring value to Team Boneyard because of what we just discussed. I built a business from next to nothing, and we're basically trying to attempt to do that through Team Boneyard too, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it is interesting. You look at all y'all's backgrounds, and obviously Doug Gomes spent a lot of time with Grady White Boats, David Faree, you know, Anson Belts, heavily involved with ECU student athletes and great business. Matt Slate spent time on Wall Street. We all know Lance Clark in the building home industry as well. And then, you know, Hank here, of course, doing his thing with the radio and media companies. So y'all have got a diverse background. How much does that help y'all when y'all meet and just kind of, you know, work on building this thing, you know, Team Boneyard from the ground up?
It helps a lot. I mean, we all have different things that we can do that help Team Boneyard, and we kind of divvy out those duties to try to hit on what we're good at and what our strengths and what our weaknesses are. And I think we have come a long way. I think we're hitting a stride finally as we're learning more and more about it. And the future's bright for ECU athletics. I'll put it that way.
I tell you what, the growth from Team Boneyard since I first had Hank on, we started this show last May. I can't remember if I had him on in May or June, but it was almost like at that time, all right, we've started Team Boneyard. We're raising some money, but we don't really know what we're doing. And now it's like y'all have developed a clear vision, a clear plan, and it's getting clearer by the day. So how much do you feel like it's developed since you first came on board? Just like because y'all have to kind of see what the landscape is, really take some time to evaluate it and make adjustments as such.
Yeah, I mean, we have grown leaps and bounds, to be honest. I mean, we're growing every day. We're finding out things that other people are doing. We're doing the research. We're doing everything we should be doing to further this. And like you said earlier, it's 6 of us doing it on our own time. Yeah. But we are giving the time, and we are putting in the work. You should see how many nights a week the 6 of us are just texting each other into the evening with ideas or whatever it may be, or this person did this or this person did this, and that's great. You know, I mean, it's just constant collaboration.
Yeah, I would love to be a fly on the wall or during these meetings or on the text thread. Maybe y'all can include me one time when somebody hits the portal and just to see how y'all react or something like that. So, all right, so a lot of stuff to get into. We'll start with the spring auction. And that closed, at least for the majority of items. The spring auction closed, what was it, Saturday? It closed Saturday night. Yep. So we had Matt Slate on a few times to kind of plug that. And, you know, first off, I just want to give y'all kudos because y'all spent a lot of time putting this together. I feel like nobody has tried anything like this before at ECU, so it was a bold initiative. I think it went really well. What's y'all's take on how it went after it closed?
So we were very happy to launch the initiative. We were most excited about offering experiences to our fans that prior to NIL probably weren't even thought of. You know what I mean? That's the coolest thing about all of this is you have the opportunity to give fans engagement type experiences that they've never had before, and it benefit the student athletes at ECU. What could be better than that? So we did think it went pretty well. Did we raise the money we were hoping to? I think we did pretty well, all in all. I was pretty happy with the fact that we were able to launch the initiative. We were able to raise tens of thousands of dollars for ECU athletics, or for the athletes. We were able to get these experiences out there to the fans. As a matter of fact, the offensive coordinator film session and the defensive coordinator film session, because they are buy on the spot, not auction items, they're still out and available. So if you want to sit through a film session in the film room where the players get their sessions with the offensive or defensive coordinator, you can still go on there and get that. So, but all in all, just the ability for us to be able to go and offer these experiences to the fans. I mean, the first one anybody could see, right, is the kick the field goal at the spring game, and he got a 2-point conversion. Who saw that coming?
Right.
We didn't even see that coming. That's awesome.
So who was in on that? Was it Luke Larson and the guy kicking the field goal? I don't know if anybody else. The defense acted like they didn't know it was coming.
Yeah, I think he kind of. I think he kind of came up with that with Luke on his own a little bit. I don't know if it was like I don't want to mess up this field goal, and let's try to do this instead, or what. But it turned out to be one of the coolest things that happened in the game, I think, other than seeing what our offense and defense can do. So
I thought it was a great opportunity, and that guy now has a memory, and he obviously he gives the money back to ECU student athletes. So I think it's a great cause. So I do want to plug this again, just so people know. All right, so the coordinator sessions you were talking about, Blake Harrell, that is available. Now, this will be the evening of April 19th in the team meeting room on campus at the Ward Sports Medicine Building. So Blake Harrell, it would be, from 5? It says 5 p.m. for Blake, and then I think JDB is 7 to 8:30. So you could buy in and go basically, 3.5 hours with just the coordinators at ECU, and that's available at teamboneyard.org on the auction page. That is available through the next 3 days, so I guess up until Friday, April 19th.
Or until it sells out at 60 seats. So.
Okay. So we're going to have Blake Harrell on this show. We just found out Thursday.
Nice.
So, maybe we can put something together, like a special giveaway package or something. But either way, we'll give you a preview. I'll let Blake on Thursday tell you and give you a little sneak peek on what you can see in the film session. How about that? So that's available, again, teamboneyard.org. You can buy that now. But, I think that's really cool. If you're into football, getting the chance to sit down with those guys, I don't know, how much coordination y'all had to have to come up with this, but time, location, all that plays a factor, David. So pretty cool that they're willing to do this. Yeah,
the coordination, and thank you to ECU Athletics, thank you to the Pirate Club, thank you to Playfly. The coordination is all of them, really, to be able to pull this off. The coaches had to be able to agree to it all, right? And everybody was very gracious and helped us out tremendously, so I want to make sure that they all get their due. And as far as the auction went, Matt Slate did a ton of work on that, so I want to make sure he gets his due. He did a fantastic job.
And that's the other thing. You guys, again, y'all are volunteering your time, and we've kind of talked about this with Matt, Hank, and others, but it's like at some point, too, do you look at, hiring somebody full-time to help run it? Just because this is a big undertaking, and there are other schools that have that, person who's getting paid. Y'all have y'all's own jobs. So is that something that's been discussed at all?
Yeah, so we've actually interviewed a lot of collectives out there that are working with other schools. We've also been having discussions in-house about what that looks like and what our best option is for ECU. And we are working through that process, and I think here in the next month or two we'll be working in a direction that will be more beneficial to ECU than 6 guys trying to do this in our own time. But we still will be a part of the board to be able to kind of guide where we want this to go forward.
All right, so I'm looking at some of the auction items just for those that maybe missed it. A round of golf with Mike Houston was sold. Dinner for 4 with Cliff Godwin and Mike Schwartz, and y'all did sideline passes. Y'all did dinner with the student athletes. I'm seeing dinner with 2 women's basketball athletes sold. So it looks like y'all sold a lot. I know the hats were a big selling point as well. So what do you feel like maybe was the most successful piece of this auction?
See, I don't know that I could draw a line to what the most successful piece is per se, but I will say that just being able to bring those experiences to the casual fan, right? To be able to go on the sidelines for a football game. I mean, who gets that outside of big donors, right?
Right.
And that was the main thing for us, is making sure that our entire fan base has the opportunity to do things that they never maybe thought they could. I mean, obviously, golf with Coach Houston. I don't know what kind of golfer Coach Houston is, but that would be a fun one. Going to dinner with the coaches. There's some posters on Hoist the Colors that I'm sure if they got the opportunity to go to dinner with a coach, they'd have quite a few questions to ask.
There's no doubt about that.
So, everybody has the opportunity to go online in an auction situation like this and get experiences that like I said before, just aren't available previous to 2 years ago.
All right, so I do want to ask, clearly the auctioning closed for the spring outside of the coordinator experiences. So do you guys look at another auction in the summer now? Is that kind of to be determined? What's kind of the early discussions there?
So some things we've been discussing at Team Boneyard is doing a golf tournament. That's something that we could do this year probably and bring some money in. And then obviously, anything's open right now. We've got the site live. We can do anything through Give Butter. And then one other thing that happened this weekend on Saturday is we actually launched our shop online. So now there's a teamboneyard.shop available with some really cool pieces like this Burn the Boat shirt that I wore today. That was really popular the other day. We had some of the merchandise available on site for the spring game. And we ended up in about 2 or 3 hours selling $5,000 worth of merchandise, which is awesome. And since it went live on Saturday, we've also sold another couple $1,000s worth of merchandise. So people like it. People want to wear it. I'm sure I know you go to all the sporting events, and I'm sure you see the Boneyard hats that I see out there.
I see a lot.
And when I walk up to somebody and I see them in a Boneyard hat, I make sure I go up to them and thank them for their contribution. No matter what level that was, they got a hat, so they were given.
All right, he is David Price from Team Boneyard. We'll get our first break in. When we come back, I do want to hit more on the shop that just launched. We'll hit on that. We'll also talk about some of the things that, they're still learning, working through, maybe next time they launch an auction, other ways to improve that experience. So all that and more, we'll continue that discussion. We've also got a comment from Robert about a fishing tournament. So we'll get into that and more possibilities with Team Boneyard. This is Hoist the Colors. We'll be right back.
New Toyotas, 0 down and only $369 a month at Greenville Toyota during the Great Rate Sales Event. Buy with 0% or get Corollas. $369 a month with 0 down. This is not a lease. You own it. Plus, get our Greenville Advantage at Greenville Toyota.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt & Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt & Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Dum-dum-dum. Get low, get low, get low. 369, ooh, she fine. Hoping she can sing it to me one more time. Get low, get low, get low, get low.
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
Ready to save thousands with a great rate? Get 0% financing at Greenville Toyota during the Great Rate Sales Event. Shop our massive inventory of new Toyotas, available as low as 0%. Hurry to Greenville Toyota today, where our volume saves you
Everything
money.
you need to know in the world of ECU athletics. This is Hoist the Colors with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors on this Tuesday, April 16th. We are talking Team Boneyard with David Price from David Price Construction, making his debut on this radio station, and glad to have him on board. We still got to get Lance Clark in here. He called me the other day. That reminds me, I need to call him back. Although it'll be like an hour-long phone conversation, so I gotta make sure it's the right time, David. But no, I love Lance. He's the man. All right, Robert Dedrick on YouTube. So I do want to talk about the shop, but he's got a few ideas. He says, how about a fishing tournament and each boat gets an athlete, and he says maybe incorporate it into the Big Rock as a separate category, big money at the Big Rock. So I don't know if that's something that y'all have talked about at all, but just an idea from Robert.
Yeah, I love the idea, Robert. I don't know if we could pull something like that off fully, but we certainly can think about something that kind of goes to that realm of possibility. I think that's a great idea.
So if I don't know if people want to reach out, can they contact y'all through the Team Boneyard website if they have any ideas like that, or any idea on best way to reach out for those type of things?
Yeah, if you want to reach out, you can contact me directly. My email is easiest, david@davidpriceconstruction.com. Send in any ideas our fans have. We'll take them, and we'll see which ones we can run with.
And there's still, again, like some red tape with some of this stuff as far as the athletic department. Like, they want to do everything they can to help y'all out, but at the same time, people got to understand y'all are outside of ECU athletics. I mean, y'all can't be raising money, I guess, for ECU athletics technically, but even though it goes to the student athletes, it's a lot of people, I guess, don't understand the NIL aspect of it. But right now, all of NIL has to be outside the athletic department. So that's kind of some stuff you'll have to work around there. All right, so David Price with us. We talked about the opening of the shop. So, again, how can people get to that shop and early launch? Y'all have done pretty good with it?
Yeah, so it's teamboneyard.shop. We do have some stuff on there. We will be continuing to add more to it over time. We have those conversations about what that looks like. Is that a one drip item at a time, or what does that look like? And so we'll keep working on that. But we do have some cool stuff, including this, like I said, the Burn the Boat shirt that I'm wearing today. That one or the purple Team Boneyard shirt sold the most. And then, of course, some hats. People love the hats. So it was a great launch. Like I said, we did about $5,000 right then and there. We've had a couple more $1,000 come through since the site was launched on Saturday. But it was important for us to have an auction, terminate it along with the spring game weekend, and then also be able to use that as a platform to launch our shop. I think all of that in conjunction kind of created even more buzz to the spring game weekend, which was awesome.
So teamboneyard.shop, I just pulled it up on my computer. Looks sharp. The website looks good. Again, you mentioned the Burn the Boats T-shirt. It's got a picture of a boat on the back with Team Boneyard on the front, and you also have Team Boneyard shirts in black, purple, and white. You also have the hats. You also have the Yeti tumbler.
Yeah, I feel like I should do this real quick.
Yeah,
let's just see the Burn the Boats.
There you go. We got the full back there.
I'm not the best model in the world, but nonetheless, there we go.
There you go. Looks good. 23 club hats sold well as well. And so, again, and all this, too, I should mention, like, it's high-quality apparel. Like, I mean, it's you won't be disappointed with your purchase. I can promise you that.
Yeah, we also handed out some 23 Club koozies that had a QR code on the back. And the idea was to try to garner a little bit more interest in that and give people the availability to try to give to that right there on the koozies. So I think it helped a little bit. I haven't seen those numbers yet, but that was kind of a fun perk if you came by the tent. We were giving out those koozies. We were selling things, and the biggest thing we wanted to do, and the main reason we did it, was for people to come and meet us and see who we are.
Right.
That we are approachable people, and kind of, I mean, you read the names for the most part. It's a younger generation of Pirates doing this, which is really, really neat because, I think a lot of people kind of associate ECU athletics with the same people over and over and over again, and we have a whole new group kind of backing this one, which is really fun, inspirational, and completely different for ECU. So I'm kind of new to the game for ECU. I've been given for the last 5 or 6 years pretty heavily, but to have the opportunity in my young 40s to do this, and some of the other guys are right here in my age group. I think the ideas are fresh, and it's a really good thing.
I was going to put you at 30.
Nice,
yeah,
dude.
Yeah,
I appreciate
I think
that.
You're 30.
No, I'll be 43 this year.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, Moronic Mondays, which is quite the name on YouTube, he says, "Thanks, Team Boneyard. Y'all are doing God's work." And I tell you what, I've known you even before you got involved with Team Boneyard, David. But it's fun to have y'all on the show because I agree. Like, it's easy to just start a website and say, "Hey, give us money to help support student athletes," but like, y'all really are approachable people. And like, I was out at the pre-spring festivities this weekend. I was going to stop by the tent. My 2-year-old son, almost 3, had a meltdown, so I ended up not doing it. But every time I looked over, man, you were talking to somebody, or you guys were handing out shirts. So it looked like it was a great turnout, and I feel like y'all offering that opportunity, meeting people, will only help the initiative, I think, going forward.
No, I think so. And I also have a son who turns 3 today. So wanted to give Joseph a plug there. But no, it was –
Happy birthday,
It
Joseph.
was incredible, the turnout. We had not just fans coming up to us, but after the signing deal, the players turned around, came over to us to thank us profusely. I mean, you can't imagine how much thanks we were getting from those guys. And then while they were doing all the signings, their parents were showing up to thank us for what we were doing for their kids. So I gained a whole lot more out of it than I even anticipated. Just getting to get out there and meet Pirate Nation and talk to people I've never met before. And the consensus is out. We're doing a good job, and we're going to just continue to try to do more and try to help ECU any way we can.
And look, I mean, without an NIL presence this day and age, I mean, ECU would be in a very tough spot. And I mean, in some cases, they're still
dead last.
Yeah, dead last. I mean, so it's like, in some cases, you're still in a tough spot compared to what some schools are doing. But without Team Boneyard and the people giving to Team Boneyard, you wouldn't be able to have a roster that competes for wins and hopefully championships. So, I've enjoyed. We've had a partnership. Some of our members on Hoist the Colors stepped up to support. Deontay Johnson, Siobhan Revel, Elijah Morris, Chad Stevens, J.D. Lampley. It's cool. Covering them is cool, David, but like getting to know them as people, I think is cool. So.
That was great.
How much did you enjoy getting to really talk? Maybe you've had previous experiences talking to those guys, but whether it be Saturday or others, kind of getting to know those guys a little bit.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's always a good thing when you get the opportunity to meet the players, meet the coaches, and have that type of. That's one thing probably that's come out of this that I didn't really expect is how much interaction that we're having at times. In terms of just trying to get them to go over and meet with the students at schools here in Pitt County and stuff like that. I mean, how great of an opportunity is it that we get to raise money? A great charity like Parents for Pitt County Schools gets to get some of that money for allowing our members to have a tax donation and other things like that. And then our athletes go to Pitt County schools and talk to kids here in our county that maybe didn't have a lot of hope, right? Let's just be honest, coming out of Pitt County. And now our athletes are coming in and telling them, if you regiment your life this way, if you do these things, if you do things the right way, like the coaches are telling them, there is hope. And we're actually offering hope to kids in schools here in Pitt County. That's something that I don't know that when we first started this, anybody could have seen coming, but there is good on top of good happening here.
No doubt. It all ties back together. It's a great cause. I do want to ask, before we take a break, with the auction or with whether it be the auction or just marketing in general, or, as you guys have gone along, like how much, again, you are doing a lot of this for the first time, how much y'all taking notes on, all right, next time maybe we want to do this better or this better? Are there any things y'all have pinpointed specifically, or is that kind of still a work in progress for when y'all do launch another auction or, do another event, something like that?
I don't think that anyone could probably be bigger critics than we are on ourselves. So we're always working on getting better, doing things better. What if we had done this? What if we had done that? Which only adds to what we can do in the future. Right now, I think one of the things that's critical is our reach, who we're able to reach, right? So we have the followers, the members. We can reach out to them at any point in time because we have their contact information. And so, for instance, on the Give Butter site, which is what we launched the auction from, 2/3 of those people came from social media because we get the stats from Give Butter. 2/3 from social media, and we only have about 1,000 followers. So without me coming on here to promote it on your show and hopefully gain some followers and other things like that we're doing, and then hopefully working however compliance tells us we can with ECU athletics and ECU in general to get stuff like that out there. We're just going to continue to get better, continue to hone our game, and bring more excitement for Pirate Nation.
So give them a follow at Boneyard Team on Twitter. They're also on Instagram and teamboneyard.org. Make sure to get those followers up. You guys have a great graphics department. I think a lot of it is being done with the AI generation, but whoever's doing it, it looks sick.
A lot of that is, I'm going to give credit again to another member of the team. David Faree is doing a fantastic job with social media. We do have an intern working some with him, but that guy is a monster on social media.
Yeah, I mean, ever since he got involved, you can definitely see how much it's taken off on social media. So doing a great job, David, who works with Anson Belt. All right, let's get a break in. We'll come back. We'll discuss more with David Price about Team Boneyard. This is Hoist the Colors on a Tuesday.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Fifth Street Hardware is the home of the $9 lunch special Tuesday through Fridays. $9 specials every day, including the famous Burger Day on Tuesdays, Flatbread Pizza Wednesday, the famous 5th Street Hardware Reuben on Thursday, and fried fish or shrimp on Friday. Plus trivia on Wednesday nights and live music every Thursday nights. And the Prime Rib Brunch Buffet has returned on Sundays. You heard that right. The Brunch Buffet with all the great items, including prime rib, 5th Street Hardware in downtown Greenville.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227. We're live with Stephen Igo on 94.3 The Game.
Hoist the Johnny Roger!
Now, back to Hoist the Colors.
All right, welcome back in. Hoist the Colors. David Price from Team Boneyard is with us in studio. Team Boneyard heavy show today. ECU baseball coming up 6 o'clock tonight. Scott Rogers will be on the call from William and Mary. The coverage will start at 5:45 on 94.3 The Game. All right. Do want to hit on a couple other things with you, David. So the numbers came out. Team Boneyard got $16,722 from Sup Dogs and Crush Vodka for the month of March. For the Team Boneyard Crush Vodka, which we've talked about on the show. For people who are not familiar, you know, Sup Dogs has done a ton for you guys, for ECU Athletics. So that had to be awesome news to receive, and that continues to go extremely well.
Yeah, no, we actually, like, Matt, Hank, myself, we all went out there to the ABC store that first day when we saw the lines going around the corner to thank people. I mean, that was humbling. That was unbelievable to see that kind of support just at the one ABC store. And so we were thinking the first month, that $15,000 check, that might be the high end. Well, guess what? The next month, as this thing reaches more stores and Pirate Nation, more people are able to get their hands on it, we got $16,000 and some odd dollars. I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing.
It is.
Extrapolate that over 12 months, and you can see what contribution Brett will be giving us, and that's unbelievable. So thank you to Sup Dogs. Thank you to Crush Vodka. I could say that for the rest of this show. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And, I mean, I'll read off the list of the places that are carrying it in Greenville in case people want to continue support in a second. But, you know, it's also made its way to other counties as well. I don't know if you got the full list, David, but it is quickly spread. And I think I read somewhere if you request at your local ABC store to acquire the Team Boneyard Vodka, that increases the chances of them carrying it or something like that. So it's quickly spread, you know, throughout the state of North Carolina.
Yeah, it's spreading very fast. As a matter of fact, I got the good news that it's in Orange County. So, like it or not, Tar Heels, we're going to be selling our vodka there, and we're going to be making money off of it. And the cool thing is like places like you're showing on your list over there. Some of the local businesses here in town are buying into it. Some of the country clubs here in town are buying into it. And so now when people go up, they're not going to, you know, say, I want a Tito's and tonic. I want a Boneyard and tonic, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's
pretty
the cool
awesome
thing. Yeah, it's awesome.
I do want to read this list for everybody
Please do.
around the town so you can get Team Boneyard at these locations. All right, Chico's, 5th Street, 519, Dirty Dan's, Rafters, Native, Calcutta, Nash, Luna Pizza, the Martinsboro, Basil's, Tiebreakers, Ironwood Country Club, Greenville Country Club, Latin Roots, Marlin's Bar, Mi Cabana, Rep Express, Seared, Doghouse Tavern, Q Sushi, Buckwild Tavern, Julep, and The Buck. So, yeah, a lot of great supporters there.
And now Brook Valley is carrying it too. So I think all the country clubs in town have it, which is awesome. And If they don't have it yet, or any place doesn't have it yet, it may just be because they're waiting for it to come in now. Because I think the word is out, and if they don't have it yet, they're going to get passed up because people are going to the other bars.
No doubt, no doubt. So awesome to see that list continue to grow. All right, the other thing we need to hit on, just because we can't hit on it enough. All right, teamboneyard.org. You can go there to donate today. I mean, even a monthly contribution of $10 equals $120 for the year. If you get enough people that do that, that makes such a big difference, David. So how much can you continue to urge people to give, even if it's a minimal amount?
So that's the main thing I think that we're seeing moving forward, is that if we could get more participation from Pirate Nation as a whole. So, and I think there's a misconception out there that it has to be $50, $100, $250, $1,000 a month. No, we want $10 a month. If that's all you can give, $5 a month, whatever you can give the Team Boneyard to help out in whatever way you can. It doesn't have to be what I give. It doesn't have to be what any of our board members give or any great Pirates like the Clarks. I mean, this could be your best contribution can help everybody. That's the main point we want them to know right now, is that every single Pirate can help.
And I always say, like, ECU fans now have a direct impact on the players on the team, like the talent on the team. Like, your contribution goes directly basically to what ECU's talent pool is going to be, because let's be real, obviously the coaches have to do a great job identifying, developing, but when you're in the portal era, the first thing that comes up as I cover recruiting is, what are your players making with NIL? And now ECU fans have a direct stake in that. They can directly impact what the bottom line is in that regard. So even if it's a minimal amount, give to Team Boneyard, and it makes such a difference.
And the people that give are our members.
Yeah.
It's Team Boneyard for a reason. We're a team. Everybody that gives to that becomes a member, obviously, and now you're a member of something important to ECU. So I want to stretch that point a little bit, that you are gaining a membership in Team Boneyard. We started by giving hats with memberships of $25 a month and up and other things like that. But we are trying to recognize you in a way that maybe you haven't been seen before.
All right, so the NIL, it just so happens today we have you on the transfer portal is open, by the way, for football for the next 14 days. And this is the reality of sports, David, that, it's just every team's got to deal with it, and, it's part of it. So how much do y'all, and it was more in the winter probably, where y'all had to, kind of come up with a budget or something like that to kind of give to the team or something like that. How much do y'all work on that side of things this time of year versus maybe in the winter?
So we work on it throughout the whole year, but obviously our major budgeting comes kind of towards the end of the year, in that November, December timeframe, when we're really trying to figure out exactly what we have, so we could talk to the coach about that and let him know what's available currently. And then obviously things like that have transpired, like the Crush Vodka deal, any of these monthly. The thing is right now we're only working mostly off of personal contributions, right? So the monthly subscriptions is something that could really help us to gain even more, right? So if we could get $1 million from donors like we did this year, plus or minus some, and then we can get another $500,000 coming in from monthly subscriptions, even if it's $10 a month, you get 5,000 Pirates, or however many are even members of the Pirate Club, or hopefully we can surpass that number, or whatever it is, and you can just see where this could balloon to and what we could do. And I feel like we are the school. If there's a school that can do this, I mean, who has done more with less in the history of athletics than ECU?
Yeah.
In terms of people coming together. Even in a 2-10 season last year, we still had a pretty good showing over Thanksgiving weekend. You know what I mean? It's pretty impressive what the Pirate Nation does. We had 6,000 people at the spring game. We sold out a regular weekend baseball game this weekend against Charlotte.
It's pretty crazy.
Who they say is not a rival.
Yeah, no. I guess we can.
We'll find out.
We'll find out eventually. But yeah, I mean the the turnout for the spring game after a 2-win season, David, was I expected a good crowd. I didn't expect that. I mean, so that was pretty impressive, and I think that shows not only what you guys have done to help maybe acquire some talent, with what you guys have done on the NIL front, but Pirate fans are still invested and they're not going anywhere.
I think most people that's even just a casual football fan, right? Like my wife, for instance, right? Leah's a great person. She loves sports. Football may or may not be her favorite, but she loves going to the games and everything else. But I would just kind of call her a casual football fan. And even last year, she's like, if only we had a little bit of offense, just a little bit of offense, we could win these games, right? I mean, we were in every game basically for the most part last year. Defense kept us in it. It was just like really difficult to watch us go back on the field offensively last season.
It was.
So now we have 2 quarterbacks. We have brought in some pieces on the offensive line. We've obviously really done a good job of bringing in some receivers and a tight end and other pieces to that puzzle that I think your casual fan and your other fans that follow it more closely, they have to understand that that's the missing piece is the offensive side. We also brought in some good defensive players to make up for some that maybe left when the portal opens, and that's one of the things that I think we'll find out over time is what is the actual value of a player as this thing plays out year after year for the next couple years. That will start to trickle down a little bit is my belief, right? Like these players may leave ECU after making a couple grand a month or whatever and think they're going to go somewhere else, and they end up at a smaller school for no money.
Yeah.
But they still get a scholarship. So at some level, and then there's other people like basketball, but Brandon Johnson just left and he got a pretty good payday at Miami, and there's nothing we could have done about that. So we have to we're starting to realize what our opportunities are and who we can go after, and there is a pecking order, unfortunately, but there's other schools that have unbelievable amounts of money dedicated to all their sports. There's other schools like in our own conference, Wichita State. They don't even have a football team, so they could pour all the money into basketball. So if they're making $1.5 million a year and we're making $1.5 million a year, there's a good chance that they're going to have better players than us in basketball. Whether they did anything with that this year, but
didn't work out too well this year.
Not great this year, but
as it goes to show, you need coaches alignment, you need NIL alignment, player alignment. There's a lot to it. Quick question, we'll take our final break. Where do you feel like you guys stand? I mean, again, it's hard to get the exact info, but like on the football front of the conference, do you feel like you are more towards that top half now, and then basketball, getting closer to the middle? Kind of what's your from what you've been able to gather on that front?
So there's a lot of misconceptions out there, obviously, and you know that as well as I do. And then I think schools put misconceptions out there at times, right?
Helps in recruiting.
But I would say that we are probably middle top of the pack in football. And we are probably middle, maybe a little under middle in the pack in basketball. That's the one that I'm really hoping we can gain a little bit of momentum on as we move forward. Because I think where we need to be, and I think we're starting to realize this, is if we could get to where we're getting, $1.5 million in football a year and $500,000 in basketball, we can be very competitive.
Yeah.
Baseball still kind of needs to be seen. Obviously, SEC schools could poach our people at any moment because they just have unlimited funds. And so I obviously want people to contribute to the 23 Club, contribute to Team Boneyard, wherever your interests are. Just know we need your help.
All right, David Price in studio. We'll get our final break in. We'll come back. We'll wrap up the show here on this Tuesday.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport. Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Inner Banks Media and 107.9 WNCT presents Concert on the Common.
1, 2, 3, say, I love beach music.
It's back April 25th with the Embers.
Girls hit you hallelujah, 'cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you.
Don't miss Concert on the Common with the Embers.
Concert on the Common, thanks to Inner Banks Media, the City of Greenville, and the Junior League of Greenville.
We'll see you at the show.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master. Let's go! Woo! Woo! Yeah! Football time!
Set the tone. Kyle, tie your shoes, tie your shoes. Yeah, good job. Woo!
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild. When a place is as special as this, you don't want to change a thing. You simply want to enjoy it, just as it is. That was our inspiration behind Bow Coast West, our newest community in Beaufort, North Carolina. Embrace all that we love about this very special place and make it easy for families to enjoy all that this coastal lifestyle has to offer. Be inspired. Bow Coast West.
Air Service is back at Pitt Greenville Airport, offering safe, clean facilities and flights from American Airlines. That means the short commute, quicker lines, and better prices that get you where you're going fast and easy. See it for yourself. There's great things inside at Pitt Greenville Airport.
Climb aboard as we set sail and hoist the colors.
matey!
Back to the show with Steve and I go on 94.3 The Game.
All right, we got about 3 minutes left here with David Price from Team Boneyard. And, you know, I do want to ask you just because, like, as this time of year happens, David, let's say, all right, a guy's under contract, because I get this question all the time, and he hits the portal. I think there's a misconception out there that, like, he's already made all his money from you guys, so he gets his money and gets to move on. But y'all write the contracts to protect yourself against such a situation. So if you could give us an update, let's say, for example, player A, you know, football, basketball hits the portal in the midst of his contract, then kind of what happens?
Yeah, so we do contracts over 12 months, but we also have them kind of incentive-based. So not incentive-based, incentive-based in the way that once the portal closes, you'll get a chunk of that, right? So that we can protect ourselves from someone coming in, asking us for a bag.
Yeah.
In, say, the December, January period, right? Coming through, finding out in the spring period that they're not going to start, and then trying to go somewhere else. We see that happening at other places. We know that's a thing that can happen here, so we do write our contracts to protect ECU and ourselves.
And the other thing, too, is I feel like the first year, you know, going into the 2023 season for football, you know, like covering it, it's almost like you need your funds for the portal as soon as it opens. And I feel like maybe going to the 2023 season, it was like, I don't think ECU fans realized that till after the portal closed, and it was too late to bring in talent. But this year, y'all were ahead of the game. Is part of that a challenge in basketball too, now getting the funds ahead of the game there in basketball, or do y'all feel like y'all are in a good spot as far as, you know, but the basketball portal is open now and it's kind of a crucial recruiting time?
Yeah, no, we've already let the coach know what he has to work with in basketball, and it is a little more than double what we did last year, which is great. So, and we hope to keep that momentum up as things move forward. But He has a plan. I will let the people know he has a plan. We have a plan. But if you think about it, and we let people know that we're onto this guy, and we think this guy maybe is a player of this caliber, right? So maybe we could pay him $25,000, $50,000, but that's about as much as we'd want to pay him. And then another school, even a smaller school, let's say Wichita State or somebody that has all that extra money for basketball, right? They think that they could pay that guy $200,000. Well, good, go overpay him,
right?
Please, and then we'll work with whoever's there that we can work with within our budget, because we're not going to overpay people. That's not going to be something that we do here. I think we have certainly learned, like I said at the beginning of the show, and we're going to make sure we're protecting ourselves moving forward. So overpaying hopefully is not a thing that our fans see from us, because we're going to be diligent with their money.
All right, David Price, we've reached the end of our show. This has been great, man. Appreciate your time, and we'll get you back on. Maybe one of these days we'll have a round table, and we'll get Lance in here too. We'll have all 6 of y'all on at one time. How about that?
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
We'll try to make it happen. All right, appreciate David Price's time for the full hour. Great stuff, great insight. Check them out, teamboneyard.org, the new shop, teamboneyard.shop, so you can find that online now. All right, we got to get out of here. We'll be back. Kaysen Rameli tomorrow, Blake Harrell Thursday. We're going to try to get Scooter and Joe Sampson Friday. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 12 noon.
This has been Hoist the Colors with your host, Stephen Igo. Tune in weekdays at noon for all things